Hello, everyone. This is Sports Stuff. Jayar Jackson, Rick Strom. We have discussed this many times. The Toronto Raptors. I will continue to die on this cliff.
Yeah.
That they are the real regular season MVP. Mm-hmm. They're the #1 seed. As we are on the air right now, I like what they have done. You got to show me in the play.
Maybe they should tank or something, right, Rick? I think they should start tanking right now. Near the end of the season, maybe it'll help them in some kind of way. Hey, let's just randomly just start tanking. Maybe some way that'll help us out.
It's been great understanding that the biggest learning tool is failure. You've got to fail to understand what you need to be better at. Yes, everyone who's now looking at this, I don't know anything about grammar, or I put a comma and a period after. So we move on. We did that over the years. We had our ups and downs. We had our moments of being upset and frustrated, but we learned from it and we didn't let it break us, said DeMar DeRozan, great player. In 6 of the last 7 seasons, Toronto has increased its win total from the one before, something done only twice in NBA history by the Celtics, with some guy named Red Auerbach in the 50s and early 60s, and then of course Phoenix in the 70s. When you struggle, you kind of find appreciation more in the grind. It's not getting discouraged when things are not going your way, not winning, but you've got to remember those moments to understand the 22-win season, my God, is what keeps you humble when you win 50-plus games multiple seasons. Lastly, they had posted franchise records for wins, home wins. They've done so while dragging themselves out of the basketball stone age with a pass-happy offense. I like to see an offense that emphasized three-point shooting and ball movement. That's when you know you're reading something from Canada.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I absolutely love it.
When something is favorite and there's a U in the middle of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Defenseman with the C as well in hockey. 2 more. The Raptors went from a team that was last in the NBA in assists per game to one that was 6th. They also went from last in percentage of baskets that were created by an assist to 11th. That's pretty incredible. They're passing around. Where the team was 22nd last season in average number of three-point attempts, this year they're 3rd. This in a league where everyone is shooting bombs like never before. And then we bring this up one more time. The season's under Dwayne Casey. They have lost in the semis, they've lost in the finals, they lost in the first round to Washington where they got swept in 7 games to Brooklyn. Different team, different year, but there is still one underlying factor. With the last 2 seasons, who did they lose to? LeBron James. LeBron James. Do you give them a better chance now because of the roster that Cleveland has and because of the roster that Toronto has?
Not necessarily, again, because of the roster. Of course, that's part of it.
Yes.
But again, it's a lot of what DeMar DeRozan said. After you go through that back and forth, look, I mean, if we're going to go through history, which, look, when Jordan and them were supposed to be winning and his early pushes for wins and Eastern Conference woes and losing to the Pistons, getting beat up by them, you know? And then learning something from it and then come back and doing it the right way. I'm sure if that was happening right now, and you and I are sitting here, I'm not saying it's always you, because I think you're starting to see the light. A lot of fans.
I'll be the judge
if there was Twitter and Instagram in those days, people saying, man, this Jordan guy, yeah, he's good, but he's never going to get over that hump because he's just
Jordan. God, can you imagine if Twitter was around when he was there? Can you imagine Michael Jordan on Twitter?
He'd be like Kobe on Twitter.
He'd be the ultimate shade pro.
I don't think he would say anything on Twitter. I don't think he's that type. No.
You think he'd pull like a D Rose where he like has an account but never goes on it?
Maybe.
More like Childish Gambino. My God.
Yeah.
Never tweet.
No, I think I'm not guaranteeing like some kind of championship run from Toronto, but they're the real deal.
Do you expect them to lose to LeBron in the playoffs? It's gonna happen. They're gonna meet. It's the best 2 teams in the East. It's LeBron against everyone else. I think Toronto will meet them. And I don't think it's going to be pretty.
I'm trying to see who else can give Cleveland a run. And I don't
look,
see
we have
much.
a lot of, pull the standard. We have a lot of Toronto fans, all right? I still think Philly's a year away. And I think they'll get exposed defensively. My opinion, if you put LeBron against anybody else, he's already proven when he didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving through an entire playoff stretch. Oh, the Atlanta Hawks are going to dethrone. Remember when the Hawks were really good? With Paul Millsap, Mike Budenholzer was like, oh, he's Greg Popovich 2.0, 56 wins, oh, this team looks great, oh, Dennis Schroeder, Paul Millsap. You know what happened? No Kyrie, no Kevin Love, no problemo. That's how good LeBron is. He could put up 50 whenever he wants
LeBron
to.
is
The
really
only thing that could hamper LeBron is if the refs are calling ticky-tack fouls and they're like, we want a new era right now. So every time you drive, someone takes a charge, we're calling an offensive foul.
I don't
it's the only
think,
way they lose.
I don't think it's an ignorant thought process to think that this Toronto team has a chance. In fact, you know what? I try to watch games, especially when the playoffs start, and detach my biases towards what I think will happen. Like even with football, every year I root against the Patriots, but I never think they're gonna lose.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I root against them, but I'm
Great
like, oh, of
point.
course they're gonna win.
Yeah.
So it's just you try to detach that, and I'm telling you, man, I like LeBron. I like seeing what he does every year. I almost want to see him go every year to the finals just so he can be like, do you remember that whole stretch of 15 years?
Just so we could see that greatness.
LeBron went to the finals 15 straight years. But no, I'm rooting against him this year, man. I'm telling you, I like Toronto.
So you're rooting for Philly and you're rooting for Toronto.
I think there's a grit that they've formed. There's like a callus they've formed on their brains in Toronto, where they're gonna do it this time. I think they can. I think they can. I'm not calling they're going to be NBA champions because the NBA champion will come out of the West. No, I don't. Again, it's hard to say. Hard to say with numbers and personnel because you asked me about personnel and roster. No, I just think they have this grit now that they can grind that out. Yeah,
it's going to be like really 6 games.
It'd definitely be 7 games.
Definitely?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They're not going to run through cleanly through Toronto.
The only way I see 7 games again is if fouls are called on LeBron and someone else goes down with an injury.
And again, they're going to get home. They're going to get a home court advantage. They're the 1 seed this year. Usually they have to go through this stretch. Look, even on the road, they're 24-15 on the road this year. So they even have a good road record. And of course, at home, where are they home? 34-7 at home. This is
what are they on the road?
24-15. Like this is this is a home court advantage for real. And the fans, as you said, as soon as you mentioned Toronto Raptors to the fans, even just on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook or whatever, they go, "What are you talking about?" These fans are primed and ready, man. This is the 6th man right here.
Yeah, 2012 I think is when it was that the Bulls were the #1 seed, Derrick Rose, and they had the ensemble of Carlos Boozer and Kyle Korver and Taj Gibson, all those guys.
Trojan. Taj.
But if we remember, it's smoke and mirrors in the regular season. The playoffs are a completely different animal. And that is why LeBron James is going to inflict his will. And I'm serious. Like,
no,
I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. Consistency is key.
Exactly what I'm saying. I'm not laughing because that's a crazy thing to say, because you know what LeBron has done?
What?
Every year in the playoffs?
Knocked out these seeds. Absolutely. Knocked out the better teams.
So it's not crazy to say so. I'm just saying I think this is going to be the surprise year.
We are all witnesses to Sam Hinkie and LeBron James.